So the survey says that we need a plate on this port side bow. Just removing the anodes, we'll be using those again, and any other bobbly bits that are in the way. And then cut ourselves a template out of hardboard that then can be transferred onto a sheet of steel.
Good afternoon, people, and I'm cracking on with Blossom. The first coat of blacking is on. I haven't gone all the way down to the bottom because there's a new base sheet going along there. I'm still waiting for it to be delivered, but this is all looking good now, and you can see that the rubbing strake is still pronounced even though it's been plated either side. It's still there, looks good. The same on this side, looking okay. Weed hatch is all painted, that's the lid bit, ready to go back in again, just some tape to put on it. But Blossom could do with her anodes putting back on again. So let's take care of that. That's much better. So there was a bit of an upselling going on with Blossom. As you can see from the pictures before, new anodes have been put next to anodes that were in really good condition. Absolutely pointless, and we see that lots of times. So what I've done is chopped them off, and I've now welded them down the side of the boat. They're not actually side anodes, they come a bit more profile, but this boat has a bit more of a chine going in down the side there, so they're well enough protected, they'll be fine. That's what we used to use before shaped anodes came out. So the weather is turned against me this afternoon, it's raining. I've just got this plate to put on the front here now, but I'm going to leave that until it stops raining, so potentially tomorrow. So that's all for today, folks. So that is the weed hatch assembly all done, painted. This part of the project is complete. that's the last plate on the bow, all welded in. So you just need to get some blacking on there now, and I'll do it while I've still got my fabulous tent up. The sun is finally coming out. It's been a bit of a grim afternoon. Right, let's get some blacking on there. Good morning, people, and it's the start of the week. We're in mid-February now, and it is biting. I think that's the best way to describe the weather today. And as you just saw by that little bit of time-lapse video in the rain and me struggling to get the forklift up the slope there, the steel for the base plate has arrived, which is good. So the next job now, apart from being wrapped up nice and warm, is to start prepping the sides of Blossom, this angle, this chine angle here, cutting it back, and also the weld along there underneath needs cleaning up, ready to take the new base plate. So that's the next job. Let's get cracking. Right, so let's have a little bit of an update of what's actually going on here. So as you saw, I've got these big ear sheets, 4 metre by 2 metres, and I've drilled holes in the middle of them so that underneath it lets the water in the boat sinks. No, that's not what they're for. These holes underneath are so I can plug weld the centre of the sheet there to the bottom of the boat. So I will be jacking that up and getting it nice and tight and welding it, and then the part that I cut out, the little circle, I'll be putting that back in like a plug and welding that over, that you'll see later. So now we've got this sheet pushed up nice and tight, and a nice gap all the way along to the weld of the other sheet. And we've got a nice chine running all the way down both sides. So the next thing to do now is actually start tacking this up, get it welded on. We've got jacks and the forklift and all sorts of things holding it up. It is a bit of jiggery pokery, that's an English word for takes a bit of time. But we'll get this put on. And yeah, hope the weather holds. Jane says it's going to snow, but I'm not too sure. Let's hope not, eh? Good morning, people, and as you just saw from the time lapse there, I've got the back end of Blossom lifted up and the blocks moved. and that's to give me some space to get this last sheet of steel over there underneath the back end. So what remains to be done now is to cut this last bit of triangle off of here to the back to get it like the other piece that I did yesterday, and to cut the skeg off, which is this piece here. So this is obviously attached to the bottom of the boat. That's got to come off so the new sheet can go in, and then we'll reattach that back to the new sheet, and the rudder will just drop down 6mm. That won't be a problem. It is absolutely biting the weather here today. Jane assures me that it's going to snow, so we're going to have to see how much of this I can get done before that happens. Good morning, people. And well, Jane's snow didn't come, but it did rain, and it is blooming freezing out here this morning. So, where are we at? Well, the base plate is all on. First weld is all the way around the sides. The plugs aren't all welded up underneath yet. That'll be the last thing to do. Next job is to get the skeg back on again, but I need to do a string line from the front of the vessel to the back so I get it perfectly straight when I weld it back on again. So this needs cleaning up, and there's the string. So let's get cracking. So Jane, what have you been working on all week then?
Good question.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, it hasn't been seen for a long time. Cake of the week. And we have, that is carrot cake and chocolate orange cake. And we are at Rebecca's Kitchen. First one of the year.
At last.
At last. Enjoy. Well, while we're having some of that delicious cake, somehow the skeg has managed to get itself reattached to the boat. But there's plenty more to be getting on with. Okay, so what you've just seen me doing is grinding out the first weld that I've put in. Getting it nice and smooth and everything out of there, ready for a finish weld. And the skeg underneath, we've got an indifference of materials, meaning that the skeg is made out of inch thick solid metal, and the metal that we're welding to is only 6mm thick. So I've ground that out as well, and now I'm going to put a more penetrative weld in there, turn the welder right up, because we've got such a difference between the inch metal and the 6mm metal. It's getting enough heat into the inch steel, which my welder will do, so that the skeg actually stays on and doesn't fall off, which, believe me, I've actually seen with some people's welding. Right, let's get going. Well, not sure what quite happened or went to my head, but I've invested in some new clocks because the other ones were smashed, and a few of you had actually commented on it. They didn't leak or anything, but I thought, well, new year and all the rest of it, so there we go. We've got some new clocks, and dizzying heights. So I've even forked out on some new welding gloves. So let's get these transverse welds and these plugs welded underneath. Good morning, people. And wow, the weather. Rain all day apparently, but at least it's not snow. This thing that Jane has had me on for weeks now, it's gonna snow, it's never come. Mind you, now I've said that, it probably will. So you just saw a bit of time lapse where I have now moved the blocks again on the back of Blossom and readjusted the tent, because this is the last stretch now. Just got the middle section to do the cover welds, the transverse weld underneath, and put these 3 little plugs in the holes. So get on my trolley, get underneath there, get it welded. So the weather has definitely turned on me. I'm so pleased I put my little tent up there to keep the weather out. Bless you if you've managed to stay with us to the end of this video. It's been a long one. We started Blossom the beginning of January. It's now mid-February. So this is the last bit of weld to go in. And there's a bit more blacking to do just on the sides, down the bottom, and on the base plate. And then she's ready to go back in the water. So let's get the camera in a particular place where it won't get wet and finish off this little bit of welding. Jane, is it beer o'clock yet? So there you have it, Blossom is complete, just the last bit of blacking going on there. I even lift her up and move the blocks so I can paint the squares where they've been sat. So overplate, a lot of people give it a bad name, usually because it's been done to a very poor standard. But if done properly, it can give an old vessel like Blossom a new lease of life. She should now last for at least 20, maybe 30 years if looked after properly. What's the best thing to do here? Throw her away and build a new boat, or repair her and let the legacy live on?